Grimlock, your booty's in the way. Dude, you need to move her. Thank you. I'm trying out Twitch's soundtrack thing, so it's like it's theirs, so I don't have to deal with copyright crap. So I'm seeing what it's like and see what happens. I'm only gonna use it for a few moments. So it's like you hear it through stream, that's what you're hearing. No, All right. All right. Let me see here. Need to change it up. I won't change the screen yet, though. All right, can I grab this? Oh, I can hear myself. Great. I can hear. Why am I hearing myself? That way? Oh, somehow I had something selected I did not want. Okay. Oh, it rotated. Okay, well, that's all right. Trying to get the charity stream information a little bit set up. Although the links should be there. And it should take you right to our team. For that, and I can get rid of that screen. Do, 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 do. Who is streaming? Notifying me on here. Oh, it is this person. Okay. All right, just getting ready for stream. We're waiting for Dave to get back. Starting stream soon. Yes, yes. And I need my notepad back over here. I don't want to lose it again. Oh, come on, dude. Your wingtip keeps caught on. I got Blitzwing sitting here, and his wingtip keeps popping off. Really annoying. The one thing I don't like about certain ones, they made them too easily adjustable. Mm-hmm. Oh, 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 oh. And then, let's see. Mm-hmm. Dave's back. I just got the stream running lightly in the background. I'm trying out that Twitch sound thing. Soundtrack by Twitch. That's what it's called. Supposed to give me copyright free stuff, I hope. So I'll stop it here in a minute. So if they blurb it out on anything else, it's just the beginning. I hope not. Through them. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's their program. I got it through them. It's what's running through it, and it's what messed with my audio earlier. Because it actually has an extension. It drops it into Streamlabs or OBS, so you can do either one. So I was like, it's all that fun. Pause it now. Minimize it because I don't want to screw with anything else. What's chat? What is this chat you speak of? That should be the. I have the rest of. Manually remove the upcoming auto ad. Well, I don't have ads running, so it's just doing the initial. That's why I'm waiting. I figure I'll wait for a moment, let the ads pass through. For some people who are just joining us on this lovely day of freezing up here. If you live in a warmer place, I hate you all. Well, I slightly, truly hate you all. I know the wind chill just kicks up, and then we're both freezing like popsicles. And then it flip flops. You'll either get warmer, or I'll get colder, or I'll get colder, you'll get warm. Nah, we're in a high desert, as we're described here. So it's more dry, but when you can smell the sea air, you know the wind is blowing really hard. Because that's how we know it's a storm's coming in. So I heard a user redacted is moving. Oh no. Yeah. One of our players is sick a little bit, and we're gonna have him do a 20-minute monologue. Notice I added 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm gonna add more time. It's going to be a 4-hour monologue of just about his character from the beginning when he was a little spark. What's a childhood? He was a child born into war. That's it. He picked up his blaster and just started going. We're gonna make up a whole backstory for you. Just... All right, you guys ready to go? Or you feel up ready to go, Mercer? All right, I will try not to make you talk too much, though. I don't want your voice going out. Okay, well, it'll be back and forth anyway. So, all right. Let's see. And I'm turning on this. All right. Welcome back to. Yeah, I know. I actually turned my phone off. I got fed up with it today. So, um, let's see. What episode? It says episode 11. I actually had to look, Dave. We're actually, because we did the 9.5, I was like, oh, wait. So it's technically 11 episodes, but it is, it would be, technically this would be 12 because the 9.5 kind of threw one in there. And I was like, wait, why is that number off? Oh, that's right. This is 11. So, all right. With that, we're on episode 11 of Transformers Unlimited Power. Welcome to this D&D session. If anybody listens, joins in, or hears this on YouTube where it will be at, which I'm going to switch the screen. Oops, I got the cover there. And then I'm going to bring up, let's see if it'll bring it up. There's our ship, the Phoenix. But there's the YouTube channel, so if anybody wants to go find it, just go under playlist. You'll find the whole playlist of all our D&D campaigns. The Destiny one, as well as the Transformer one, and then I have other stuff I've streamed up there, so you're more welcome to do whatever. I will be streaming Lone Echo 2 again, but with more commentary because some people liked it when I didn't talk through it, but this time I will so I can explain and do more. Maybe. We'll see. I do like hearing them talk. But anyway, we're going to start with our campaign again with our assassin and our soldier who were on their way to the junkyard, the graveyard of ships from the battle long ago that Overload remembers and memories slowly coming back to him. They end up at a part of the junkyard where the map is indicating the One Pieces. As Gilgamesh, I almost said Overload, Gilgamesh maneuvers the ship gracefully into a position, hiding it within the wreckage of another ship. They use one of the shuttle pods and head down to an opening where Overload and Gilgamesh, along with Carbine and Aegis, disembark from it. Having very limited vision within these areas because of a thick fog that seems to dissipate but then reappears after being blown away. While going in, they're locating and finding the bodies of a lot of missing bots that were there to salvage or scavenge for parts. Noticing that their chest has been ripped into, they proceed on to find more and more. As they get closer to the location of where the map is indicating the next piece is, they do find a pit, or at least a pool of this purple greenish substance they've seen before. Aegis and Carbine even know what this stuff is. It's that same ooze like material that created them. They find a hatch to a ship that's buried within this. Overload recognizing this ship from long ago when it blasted away from another part of it like an escape pod. They climb down. They look all over the ship. They find a container and open it with a little finesse. They find a bot holding the last piece, but as they pull the last piece out, the bot comes to life, but not in a good way, in a very decaying way, without spark, without any kind of feeling. It's reaching for and trying to grab them. After dispensing with and dealing with the bot and noticing after its head has been smashed in that it is still moving, they disembark, only to encounter as they exit the ship not one spark eater, but 3, along with a numerous amount of zombie-like bots coming for them. After a loud noise from one of our bots, Overload, ringing a bell, alerting what sounds like more spark eaters or zombie bots, they escape through the top part of this island that is gathering all this material. But as they try to escape, Gilgamesh's leg is caught by one of these big bots that has appeared, that has run through that pool of green purple slime with one of its tentacles, the spark eater, wrapping around his leg. They cut it free. They jet off to their pod and get out of there. They head back to the ship, but on the way, Gilgamesh succumbs to this ooze that is on his leg and is starting to work its way into his systems. They make their way back to the ship. They get him to Med Bay. Overload, Aegis, Carbine, Gilgamesh, and now Felix and Micron are in this sick bay. And this is where we'll pick up our story now. Gilgamesh, you are laying in the bed. You're barely being able to hear or feel anything right now. You get glimpses of a tunnel vision. You're in and out. You can kind of hear Carbine screaming to you, but you can't make out what she's saying now. Before you could hear her. Mm-hmm. Yes, pretty much. And right now they're trying to work on you, trying to figure out what's going on. Carbine's kind of just sitting up under one of your arms, and her paws are on your chest, like trying to. And before that, you could hear her screaming, "You need to fight. You need to stay focused on the good things." Like, just she's trying to give you anything that will help you. You can hear the beeping between Aegis and her, but you don't know what that means, but you can't make out what she's saying now because it's like a tunnel. And you know how your eyes are fading down, your optics are kind of doing that, and they're sporadically coming in and out, and it's like you're kind of shutting off a bit, and you can't really see or make out anything. You can't really hear anything. You know stuff's going on, but you can't tell what. Overload, you're standing at the doorway with Aegis on your shoulder. You hear Aegis kind of beeping back and forth between Carbine and him, and she keeps whipping her head back and forth a little bit, like she's looking at him and they're talking. You hear Aegis a couple times. He needs to fight. He needs to focus right now. This is going to be bad if he can't survive it. What would you like to do, Overload? And he's just looking at you, and he just kind of shakes his head. No. You are kind of in and out of it. Let me see. Who do I want? Gilgamesh, roll me I want to say I want you to do a perception. Let's try just doing perception check on this one because I want to see if you're going to perceive what he's saying to you, if you will even understand him. So with this, right now you're not going to hear him much. You hear what sounds like encouragement, but you're not sure what you're hearing. So You're very weak. You can't hardly move at all. They can see you like twitching and moving, but you're not moving at all. It feels like you're paralyzed almost, but you still have that sense that you can move a little bit. But yeah, she's kind of like underneath one of your arms, but perched up with her front paws right on your chest, like pushing on you lightly, like you got to fight. And she's trying to just yell at you, and you can't hear any of it. Give me an athletics on that. Let's see what you can do. You try to, but your hand and your arm just feel like you've got so much weight on them. You can't lift it up, but your fingers are twitching, and you can't sense any of her. And right now, she's kind of freaking because she can't sense anything of you. I'll I'll give you a whisper. Go for it, because your rolls have been. She leans down real close. Her ears are picking you up, but she's leaning way down on you. She just turns. You don't hear any of this, but there's beeping going back and forth between Aegis and her. And Overload, you kind of see Aegis's beak kind of turn toward you. I think he'll be okay. Maybe. He's a different kind of fighter, like both of you are. And Carbine's a good spark, so I think he'll be all right. But what's it mean when he says he'll be right back? Get more curious. Mm, all right. You kind of see Felix. I wouldn't touch him too much, just in case. I never encountered this kind of stuff. You see. Oh, whoa, I'm going Australian there. Whoops, sorry. My voice changed real quick. And Micron's like, yes, please don't touch him too much, unless. And he kind of looks at Carbine. He doesn't understand anything unless something's different about you. Maybe, but he's in his transformed state right now. He's in a microscope and he's scanning you from your head down. And this is fascinating. This is very familiar. This is similar. And suddenly, on a couple of screens off to the side, he remotely turns them on, starts projecting. This is his system right now. And you can see this. It almost looks like cells, but it's like transmitting through his system slowly. But it goes fast and then it slows down. He it looks like he is fighting it or trying to. His system is fascinating, but it's very similar to this one. And he pulls up the organic material that you guys brought back samples of. It's very similar to this. They're almost identical, but this one is more advanced, the one that's in him. Yes. Well, this one looks, and he's talking about the one that's in Gilgamesh right now. This one looks manufactured in some way, but modified. I'm going to have to do more analysis. This is going to take me some time. I don't know what we can do. And Felix is just like, we can just monitor him right now. That's all we can do. I don't have any familiarity with this. We'd have to find somebody who specializes in it. But I watch the feeds that come through, and if anybody comes back from this stuff, they're not really heard from again. If they suspect you're infected, they might make you disappear. It's just a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but if we go back, he might not come back. Yeah, or find somebody who can help that's willing not to say anything. Sure. Just roll his history check for me. You do know of somebody, but you don't know where their location is exactly at. You know they've moved around a few times. They're more solitude at times. But you'd have to send out a communication to see if you get a response back from them. That's the only downfall with it. But you do know somebody. As you are finishing saying that, you get a both you and Gilgamesh get it, but you can respond to it. A message coming through, and it's a voice. It's pretty much Timmy calling on the comms. Sirs, we have a problem. We got company. So Gilgamesh can't respond, but you can hear the comms going off on him. But they're just not. You could see Carbine just kind of press down on it to stop it. Just like stop. Aye, sir. And it's pretty quiet, but you suddenly hear more scrambling about and more movement in the ship, and it's everybody's getting to stations and that because the lights have gone red. He's Timmy hasn't done the loud alert because he's trying to keep it kind of quiet within the ship. So he's literally got it on stealth, and everything is in low power mode right now. So he's not doing anything. There's nothing happening with the ship. It's quiet. Sir, we've got multiple ships coming around, and there is a larger one nearby. I'm not getting too many transponders. I'm not receiving too much. This it seems like they're doing it on purpose, but the larger ship is a large scrapper ship. It's one of the factions of scrappers. It's not good, sir. This is if we're detected, and Timmy's starting to freak out a little bit. They're not hailing us. I don't think they can detect us yet. Nothing's come up yet. Sir, where's Pilot at? We might need to get out of here. Uh, are you gonna fly? And he kind of looks at you hesitantly. Age is sitting there and he looks at you. You haven't done this in how long? Timmy's like, I can fly, but I can't land this thing and I can't fly that well. pilot is always better. He's kind of like, he just looks at you again. And he slaps you on the back of the head with his wing. Ping! And he looks at you. I fly, you idiot. Like, look, he's just staring at you. And he jumps down, transforms into his bot mode. Timmy is the first time he's seeing this. You're smaller than me. And he just looks at him. Don't push it. Just the look. He doesn't say anything. He just look like, don't push your luck. Timmy's like, okay. Just like, He climbs up. He kind of hops up into Gilgamesh's seat, but he reaches down and he's like, this seat's awfully low, and he pumps it up into the air. It's kind of ridiculous to watch, but he's sitting there like getting it to go up. And you're sitting there for a good minute just watching this. And he's like, now I can reach the controls. And you see him automatically just start. And it's like watching Gilgamesh at the controls. This is old tech, but it will do. It's a good ship, though. Good choice, Overload. How did you come by this ship? How did you come by this ship again? And he's more curious now. He's kind of poking and prodding you. It's like, and he stops it and stops moving. He kind of turns back. The one who owned the shotgun, correct? Nice ship. And he keeps going back, and he kind of gestures toward Timmy like he's pointing. Can you? And he looks at you. Can you tell him I need the radar display? Red button on your right, up. No, the other red button. And oh, and there he goes. And he kind of like does like a thumbs up, like, okay, thanks. And I got the flying. I'll take care of it if we need to. And he's just watching and waiting. Sir, and he just looks over, that tone like, uh-oh, we've got another problem coming in. Two big ones along with another group of flyers. They're the other faction of scrappers. Uh-huh. And we're in the middle. And you can see on the radar, these two groups are literally, they're kind of around where where you guys are sitting at, near that island, spinning slowly. And it's just ominous. They're not moving. They're just sitting now. They're very close to each other, and they're close to you. Sir, there's a scan going on, powering down everything. You hear everything shut down, and he goes, we're on very basic power. And it's dark. The med bay goes dark, and it's like all you can see is optics right now, kind of flickering here and there from each of them, and then the light that's coming in through the front of the bridge. I have this radar set to very low passive. It's very quiet. They're not moving, sir. Suddenly, you see ships start to fly by and start fighting. you just hear blast upon blast just going on. You see a couple ships getting destroyed. Each side is just fighting away. And the two bigger ships, Timmy is indicating they're approaching a little closer. Sir, we might need to get out of here. This is dangerous. They're so A just kind of looks at you. So, Captain, what do you want me to do? And he's grinning at you. You see Timmy hit the sliders up, and it's like all at the same times. Usually when he does those, the engines have to be prepped, but it's like everything was in sync. The engines come full online, everything is powered up. I'm giving you everything because we need to get out of here now. And suddenly there's an explosion in the wreckage. Something or some things have hit it, and it's starting to move. And Aegis is like, hang on to something. And both your engines roar to life, and it just shoots out of there. Looks like a rocket coming out of it. Blasts are firing around you. And I have that. I gotta go do it this way. You are flying through this debris and around these fighters who are just blasting everything. A couple of the fighters from one of the factions is targeting you right now. You hear Timmy, we're being targeted right now. Do you want me to bring the cannons online? Oops, I need to move that. Aye, aye, Captain, from Aegis. He flips that ship and does maneuvers similar to Gilgamesh's. He's got skills. And he does very well skills. He flips it around. He loses one of the targets, but there's still another one back there following. And it's taking pot shots at you here and there, but its targeting isn't on you right now. It's just randomly shooting. All right. Let me see. What was Aegis? Whoops. I dropped that. I didn't want to drop that. I need to do this real quick. What is his again? I need to look at that because I don't have his sheet right now. Oh, shoot. Okay. Aegis is flying that ship. That other ship is taking an aim, and Timmy, it's got a lock on us, and it fires a shot. Aegis whips the ship right out of the way just at the last second. And he just turns you. I think I singed the tail engine a bit. The other ship is locking back on. Okay. It hits for at least about 5 damage, which really doesn't do much to it at all. Let me pull that sheet over here so I can see it better. Which, thanks to your armor, it's helping. So you guys are still upright and flying. Aegis is still flying out. He's trying to look for an exit out. That little ship back there keeps targeting. Do you want Aegis to do anything specific in his maneuvering? Because there's debris all around. Oh, it just... Yes. Whoa. Oh, little subterfuge misdirection. Yes, you do see a ship. You remember this ship from your side. A large Decepticon ship that is literally ripped into three pieces. Aegis is like, aye, aye, Captain. And he whips the ship. He like barrel rolls it down and over and spins it down into a direction. And he is flat out just flying this. Timmy is just maintaining. And you can see Timmy just moving dials and things up and down. And he's focused on this right now. Aegis whips that ship and pulls it. And I'm going to have him. Whoops. I can't believe I did that. Sweet. There we go. I had to re-roll it because I hit the side and it messed it. He flips it up. He comes around the other side of the ship and into the darkness, and he takes, and you see him grab the throttle stick, pull it back about half, but he whips the ship back up and around, up inside of the ship, and he literally shuts it off. And you guys are sitting there almost perfectly still. Let's see if that little ship does not detect you at all, even with its little help. It flies right by you and zips around the other side, and it doesn't know where you're at. And he slams on the throttle and he bursts out of there and he heads the opposite direction. So that little ship is on the other side. It can't detect you. It doesn't even see you. You're flying out. You're still in the midst of battle and debris. You have ships flying past you, shooting at each other. You see some just getting destroyed and decimated. One of the big ships is close to you right now, and it's powering up a very large gun. Yeah. It fires. Oh, yes. Aegis, timing it just right, whips the ship, and Phoenix comes right around, and you can see this blast right over the top of the ship. And I mean, it's close enough you can make out every little particle of it. And it's firing. It hits a bunch of other ships, even its own. It doesn't really care. And blasts into more debris. But it misses you guys. Almost hit you. You'll feel the rumbling of it, but it's blasting everything else behind you guys. So you're pretty much clear. You're okay. So you're making your way out of this debris and flying out of there as fast as you can. You get another two fighters, but they're not from the same side that was attacking you first. This time it's from that larger ship that you were closer to. They're kind of a reddish fighter. They look like they're scrapped together, but they still got some mean weapons. Fuck. Okay. They hit you. One of them does. For 24 points of damage. Damn it. And you hear Timmy, we can buff that out as the ship rocks. The other one hits as well. Only does 2. He kind of nicked you. He just turns you. You sure you don't want me to turn those cannons on? Okay. All right. I'm going to keep flying this thing. He maneuvers. I'm going to have him do. He doesn't fly very well on that one. You can see him bump a couple pieces of scrap, but nothing major happens. It's not enough to damage you. But he does pull off some fun maneuvers through some of the wreckage, losing the last two fighters. And let's see if they blow up or just. Oh my god, they do. That's beautiful. You guys fly through. He barrel rolls through this wreckage. You swear you guys are going to lose like both engines at one point, but he's whipping it like a spiral and just timing it right so you guys don't contact anything because he got a nat 20 through it. So it's beautiful looking. And those two fighters collided with the opening because they both tried to go in at the same time and smacked into each other and smacked into the debris. They are gone. You guys launch out the other side into clear space. You can still see flashes back behind you, but they're getting further and further away. And it's becoming quieter and quieter. And Aegis is he's still got it full throttle. And Timmy goes, "We're pretty far away right now. Nothing's tracking us now." Aegis backs off the throttle a little bit. He's about 3/4 of the way, so he's not pushing it hard, but he's keeping it going. And he just turns to you, "Thank you, Captain." He salutes you. Yes. Aegis is agreeing with you. I will find some asteroids. They're nearby here. He can see them on the radar because he still has that screen. I will try and park it within it or around it in some way to mask our signal. All right, sir. So he flies. We'll speed this along a little bit. He flies it there. He finds a group of asteroids that are just kind of sitting there. They're not moving. He parks within the midst, but in the shadow of them. So it's going to be a little darker. And he sits there. He gets that ship parked just right so you guys can chill. He shuts everything off on the engines. Timmy powers down a lot of the stuff. And Timmy looks up to you, "Captain, we're going to have to repair any damage outside. We're going to get to work. I'll get Gung and Crux, and we'll all get out and start working on it." "Yes, we will, sir." And he walks off, and you can see down the hallway there. Timmy gets to the one hallway with the roof hatch, and you see Gung and Crux, and it's like, wait, he didn't call them on the comms. But it's like, never mind, don't worry about it. They all three climb up the hatch. You hear them, and you can hear some light walking around on the top of it, and movement around it. So you guys can hear them walking around, assessing everything. So while they're doing that, Overlord, what else would you like to do now? Did you want to make a communication? All right. The communications are up and running. If you want to send a message or if you want to actually try and talk to them. Okay. You pull up the communications and you get a bit of static here and there, but that could be because the asteroids are doing that a little bit. You pull up an old friend that you were in the war with. He was kind of there with you guys, with you and Rex as well, but he was more of a medical style bot. He used to go by a specific name, but now he is what they call do it. It's a trap. Sorry. I saw a trap on the other screen and I was like, what? Yeah, the trap. And it's all right. You It's okay. You don't have to worry. We might introduce you. We might not. I don't know yet. So this is our other player. That's, that's okay. If you want, you can join and listen. We're getting to a point of Overload communicating with a medical bot from his past. So with that, he comes. You hear this voice. Kind of. It's Overload. Is that you? We haven't talked in a long time. What do you want? Oh, I knew that one would come back to bite me. What do you need? Something from where and what? I don't know if this is worth that favor. If it's something that dangerous, can you meet me or do I have to meet you? Um, where I'm at, you guys might not want to be. And if they find out, there's another. All right, fine. I'll have you come here, but you better not say what it is. We'll bring him in through my into my shop area. Don't question things when you get here and don't get involved. If you can help it, I'd appreciate it if you didn't cause me problems. And he sends you coordinates for a location in space. Fine. And the comms cut. He just kind of looks over at you. You sure about this guy? All right. We flying anywhere then from the sounds of it? All right. Uh, those three are up there working on it. It sounds like they're doing something. You can just hear some noises outside the ship because it's space. So all you hear is what's inside the ship. So as you, they just keep steady, the ship steady during that time. He's monitoring while Timmy is outside. Is there anything else you would like to do during this time? Just to be sure, I want to be. It's Micron. Felix and Micron with Gilgamesh. There you go. I'll help you. All right. As you proceed down, we're in Gilgamesh's mind now. Here, you're in kind of a darkness right now. You've kind of, in their sense, you're in offline mode, but you're not. It's like you're dreaming. You feel kind of like you're floating, but you're able to stand up. You can see yourself here. You look around, and it's a void expanse around you. It looks kind of like you're on Cybertron, but in the past. Turn that down a little. You hear just like winds passing by. You know these streets as of the current time, but those streets are destroyed. Lots of it's in shambles. In your past, they were in better shape. There were bots walking around. There was stuff going on. It was like the beginnings of Cybertron starting to get into this dilapidated state. You're a smaller bot now on the streets. You're walking along. What do you see down this street from your eyes, from your optics? What does Gilgamesh see? As you stand there and see this, you flash back to the current state of things. It's a lot worse. Buildings are not what they used to be. No vendors are around. It's quiet. And then you snap back to that moment again. You're back again little, and you're seeing those silhouettes. You know that, yes, you are in some ways in control of yourself, and you're recognizing that this This isn't. This isn't. This isn't a. This is a dream, but it isn't a dream. It's your memories. As you walk, that snap back to the current time. You're your older self. You see again what used to be a shop is now just some kind of bartering place, which is barely functional. It looks dilapidated again. Everything's just in this area, it's just falling apart. But then you snap back and it's you see the vendors again, but you're your younger self, you're smaller. You continue to walk along. You walk up to it and it looks like a mortuarium, I can't talk. Place where you bury the dead, but in this universe they're stacked plots, but they're not buried. They're put behind a plaque with the name on it and a date. Kind of like in human culture, but these are compressed blocks of what their forms were into these blocks and placed into these. You walk along and you see all the names. You come across many names you've seen before, you've heard of, but never really met them. Some from the past who have perished during the wars, legends. Some have small statues erected nearby for their own personal that they were honored with. But most are these little placards with a block that used to be the bot behind them. You get to the plaque that you're looking for. You automatically know where exactly it's at, though, and you're standing in front of it. You are in your younger state looking at it, so it's still shiny. Mm-hmm. But you do get a flash. Suddenly you're back in the moment. Everything's covered in dust, dirt, debris, metal fragments here and there, scrap pieces. Things haven't been kept up. Then you snap back and it's cleaned up, nice and shiny. Everything's been maintained. You're back at that teenage years again. As you do, you flash again to the present. It's like you're wiping the debris from it, the particles, like you're clearing away the name so you can read it. As you do, it blasts away and just kind of wisps up into the air, and the winds carry it away, and then you snap back to your teenage years, your hand still touching the plaque. As you're sitting there with your hand on this plaque in this teenage years, you're in another place now. It's really windy. You're your older self right now, but you're looking down from the top of a building, kind of perched, sitting there looking down. You come back to the plaque as your older self seeing this. Back to you sitting up on the top of the building. You're sitting there staring down. You realize, you remember, wait, I was just down there. You can see the burial area, the site from where you're at, but you can also see down where you have been. You're off the roof, but now you're really young. You are on the Venom's bite, but you remember this as, wait, I remember this. You kind of remember your quarters that Widow gave you. The stuff, you're looking around. You hear voices. You recognize Widow, but you don't recognize the other one. But you can't make them out. You just know who who Widow is. You were trained by her, and you started to get trained by her to pay attention and listen carefully. You're a small bot. You don't have all the stealth in the world right now. You don't have everything right now. You've just started to learn from her. You hear what sounds like arguing, and you kind of hear this voice, and you decided to take on a little one, as you call it. Widow, you can hear Widow bite back. That was my choice. The other voice, who don't know who it is, but it sounds familiar. You've gone soft, Widow. I'm surprised the guild puts up with this. And you hear what sounds like a door slam. You're kind of peeking out through the crack of the door. You kind of can see a bot, but you can't make it out. It's all blurred and shadowed as it walks out of the ship. And you can hear what sounds like another ship door closing. And you see Widow step out, kind of deep sigh, and she looks over and she knows you're watching her. You kind of feel a little scared for a moment. She opens the door. She leans down and she's kneeled down in front of you on one knee. See, you're learning how to try and eavesdrop. Very good, but you need to stay out of this one. It's all right, little one. Did you get enough charge? And with that, she's got her hand on top of your head and she pats it. Let's start some more training. And then, as you both start to walk to the area where you're training, you fade out and you come back. You're sitting up on this tower again. Solitude, alone. It's quiet up there. You can hear the noises of the city down below. You know you're in this dream state and it's snapping you back and forth. You go back to before Widow found you, and it's a snap. You feel this lurch forward and backwards. What feels like you're jumping through time, but you're jumping through your own memory. You're just a little. No and yes. I don't know how to describe that one, but it's a no and a yes. No, no one's really controlling it, but yes, somebody is. You're back at a point where you're out in the street. You're running about. Is anybody with you at this time? Very young. You would be before Widow, before she took you in. Nice. You you snap forward to that moment. You're remembering the happy moment, but then it goes to this next moment. I'll let you continue. Sorry. You're you're back at the tower. As you are in this moment, we're going to snap back to the reality. Overload. You're down checking on Felix and Micron. Carbine's still sitting there. She's almost like she's curled up on top of Gilgamesh's chest. And Felix is like, I can't get her to move off of there, even if I tried. I don't want to get cut by those claws. Micron just sitting there. It's okay. I don't think she's interfering in anything, although she might be helping. We snap back to Gilgamesh real quick. Inside that moment, you're feeling angry. You feel something familiar. Suddenly, in front of you, you're kind of sitting there. Are you crouched down, kind of like looking down, or sitting? How would you describe that? I'm going to let you describe how you're perched up there. Mm-hmm. Okay. As you do, not far from you, you start to see something swirl and manifest in front of you. It's not very big. You recognize it. You got it. It's right there. You know what it is, and it fades out. It like swirls and dissipates again. It's you know something was there, but you don't know what it wants, what it's doing. Yes. Oops. Let me switch screens too. You can see that. Nice. As you do, you you lean down right where this thing was, and all of a sudden you start making out a shape, an image. Your mind is trying to grab at this, and it's making out and it's putting something there, and all of a sudden you got these two eyes staring at you real close to your face, and you kind of recognize this black and red fur, and you can hear this whisper of a voice, it's on the fight. And then it turns and walks away and disappears. How do you feel at this moment? All you got is wind blowing about. It's quiet, unusually quiet too. Mm-hmm. As you do, you end up with training with Widow. You're older, and this is where she gives you your first assignment. I think you're ready for this. And she hands you a data chip. On your optics, you can see all this. And she taps you on the shoulder. You're ready to go. And she walks into her quarters. And now you're back to the vent. You end up. Yes. You snap back to being on the ship with Widow. And she's sitting across a small table from you. So, how do you feel? You did good, little one. He wasn't the best. I only gave you part of the file. If I gave you the rest, you probably would have done more to him. I wasn't sure of your control, though. She just looks and she's just watching you for a moment, and then you did good, though, still. I have another mission for you. And she slides another data chip, and as she does, you kind of start reaching for it and you start touching it, and then snap, you're back up on top of that building again. And with that, while you're fighting with your mind, Overload, we're back to you now. You're sitting there watching this. Carbine hasn't moved. She's just curled up on Gilgamesh's chest still. Felix is like, she hasn't moved since she's gotten into that position. Micron, he's looking at the data, and you can see the two screens, and you can see analysis on both of them. And he kind of chimes up, this is interesting. This one, the original that we found, was a natural state of it. The one that's on and running through Gilgamesh is more like, I do not know how to describe it, a forced evolution. But this is a combination of CNA and DNA. Well, this one, yes, but at the progression you can see, and you see in Gilgamesh, it's faster. The things you encountered on that planet, the jungle one that we were on, this is how fast they're going. You see a very, it's like slow progression. So those creatures that were eating them, that were getting changed, was a slow progression. This one has been advanced. You hear him. I don't know what it's doing to him, but he snaps up a newer on both images. This was before, and you see the normal state of what Gilgamesh's system should be running at. This is what's happening, and it looks like this stuff is branching out and going through his system. As you do, Timmy comes across. Sir, we're back in the ship. The ship's patched up and ready to go. Wasn't much damage. Tough ship. Aye, aye, Captain. Aegis is still up on the bridge. He just kind of comes across in your head instead of the comms. Do you want me to start flying to a direction, or you want us to sit here for a little longer? All right. Gonna need to have those coordinates, though, sir. I can tap into most things, but I prefer not to. I'd prefer to ask you. Thank you, Overload. And he's being different with you now. He's noticing more of a respect for you. That's why he's responding the way he is to you. No, we were good. We will. We're keeping track of it. So far the progression in Gilgamesh's system is interesting by any means. And he gestures toward the screen. We don't know what's happening. So you feel the ship suddenly start to maneuver, not jolt, but maneuver. You can feel it. And Aegis has it going, and you'll be there within like probably about an hour time, at least one cycle. And Felix kind of like, is it somebody we can trust? All right. Just I might be scarce during that time then. So he's just kind of like, I'll deal with it when the time comes. So let's just take care of Gilgamesh, try and keep him going. His vitals are erratic here and there, but he's doing good. We'll just let him be, and maybe he'll fight it off. I don't have anything that will help. Micron chimes in. I don't think there is anything you can do, Felix. This is something way outside of any of our bytes, information, anything. We don't have computational knowledge of this. We'll have a stretcher ready. I'll talk to Steele about making something up that we can move him. And with that, they are going to continue to monitor and keep an eye on Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, you're in this frustrated state. You feel something on your shoulder. It's kind of all there. It kind of looks like you remember this feeling. You saw it earlier. You start to recognize a little bit more of this. Suddenly, you start to feel a little calmer for a moment. Just for a moment. And you just hear this little word whisper, and then it fades out again and wisps away. You are suddenly you're back on the Venom's bite, but you weren't jolted there. It was like you willed yourself to be there, but you weren't trying to. You were just there. You don't remember this. This is different. You're your older self, but you see Widow standing there, but she's looking down at you. And then suddenly you see your younger self. It's like you're watching all this from outside. You will stay here, little one. Understand? I don't want to hear anything about it. You need to stay right here. And she's telling you to stay in your room and stay there. She leaves. Goes out. You hear these two voices, Widows, and that same bot. Look it. If you're not going to do it, you've gone soft. The guild won't like this. I don't like it either. Look it. I don't care who you are and what you want anymore. You've changed since I've known you. We've been around each other. You hear it a little louder. And look it, we've been around each other for most of our lives. I know what you're like. Look it, that was my past. I am want to do other things than kill. Widow's just trying fighting back a bit with this argument. Well, if you're not going to do it, then I will. Alone if I have to, but I can do it. No, you can hear it through the door, but the door is closed. You try to open the door, but it won't budge. Widow locked it. And you hear the argument, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm still the better one anyway. And you hear this bump, bang. You've gone soft, Widow. And you hear it walk past and out, and again out the hatch. You hear movement, You hear what sounds like somebody getting up off the ground and come over to the door, and she opens it. I know you heard all that. And she's kind of leaned over a bit like she's hurt a little. Don't worry about it, little one. And she kind of taps you on the head. Why don't we get you something to eat? And she kind of takes you to the kitchen. You snap back, but this time you're on that void, that plane. You see something. Your memory is just pulling at this thing. Something is wisping in front of you like a little whirlwind, just spinning. You can kind of make out something trying to form. You see something reaching out like it's trying to touch you. And it's just reaching for you. It keeps gesturing in your direction. As it gets closer, it's reaching up, but it's palm up, like asking you for your hand. Well, in its size, probably maybe a finger or two. Suddenly, you see a form in front of you. You've only seen it once before in a memory, not yours, hers. It's Carbine before she was changed. And all you hear her say, remember, remember the good. And she's still holding on to you. She suddenly is whisked into her cat form currently, then her newer bot form, then back. Memories. Hold on to your memories. As she does, she wisps away. The void kind of lightens up a little bit. You start to remember more and more of your past. Whoever the other bot is, other incidents that have happened, you feel the pain that of loss that you have. You feel the anger, but you also feel the happiness when you were with your friend, when you were with Widow, the happier moments, when you've succeeded. All your missions she gave you were specific to not be evil or bad, but to remove what was bad. You remember all this stuff starts flooding in. And suddenly you see Widow on the same plane with you. She doesn't look so good. She's sitting there, just watching you, standing there right across from you. You're remembering Gilgamesh. She didn't call you little one this time. She takes a few steps forward. I'm communicating to you in a different way. You must be in dire straits. You must be in really bad shape. I can't talk long. I can't hold this for very long. Just remember, you're doing good. Even when you think you're being bad, focus on what they're doing wrong. But don't forget, you can still do what's right. And she starts to fade. I can't hold this much longer. You need to be strong. I don't know what's happening to you. And if she fades, you can see her. It's like she kind of falls to the ground and then she fades out and wisps away. She's gone. We snap back to reality now. The ship is approaching this clump of asteroids that are, you could tell there's something going on it. Aegis comes around and he messages to Overload. He's just talking to you through his normal telepathic. And he's, we're approaching the asteroids, sir, but you might want to get up here and look at this. He's gesturing out the front window. Look at that. And it's, you see the asteroids. There's three of them, but they're all connected with like, almost looks like some kind of rudimentary tram system. And you can see things going on between them. There's some ships around. You get a communication from the dockmaster. What's your business here? And he just looks up at you, Overload. That's for you. Oh yeah, go ahead. I didn't even think to give one. I just call him Med. Ooh, good one. Better than what I had. What's your business with him? All right. Let me hang on. About a minute goes by and then he comes back on. Fine. You said you're clear. You can dock at Bay 35. Really, it's not a docking bay, it's just an opening in the asteroid. You can pull up to it literally and just drop your ramp. So Aegis is sitting there. He maneuvers the ship. You come around. He land. He kind of not lands, but he pulls up and he docks. You guys see like a rudimentary security system, which is just some bots walking around with some rifles and stuff. They're watching. Dockmasters like, make your business quick. Don't, if you make any sudden moves or anything funny, we'll blast you. Got it? So, do you want to go meet Influx first, or do you want to take Gilgamesh there? All right. I will speed this part along. You kind of make your way through the station. Um, they kind of gesture. One of them like, yeah, he's over there. Is in that over there, and you see what looks like a not so clean medical ish looking establishment. It more looks like a engineer's department more than anything at this point, considering they are. But it's got parts, things hanging. It's just all over the place. You see this bot in the back. He's kind of doing something on somebody's arm, and he looks up. Overload. It's been a while. Could be better. And you can see him spark off the one, and the patient is like, "Ah, you're fine. Get up. You're done." And you see the bot kind of scramble. I said go, and he holds up the torch like he's going to do something to him, and the bot runs out. And you see him put it down the torch, and he looks over at you. So, what is this I need to help you with? The favor. And he does a little hyphen thing. A favor. How much energon drink did you have before you came in here? Okay. He's looking at this, and you can see his optics watching it. Hmm. Am I supposed to see him there, or is he coming here? Obviously, I don't think he's going to get up from this, is he? Hmm. Uh, well, you've been touching him. Obviously, you're not affected, right? And you see him pull out a scanner real quick. No, if you're still the scrap heap you are. He drops it. Why, thank you. Still scrap heap. Well, you can bring the patient in here if you want. Steele has created a makeshift I forgot what the stretcher. There we go. And you can see Felix is kind of nowhere to be seen, and neither is Micron. They're kind of staying in the med bay out of sight. Steele and Blend are carrying Gilgamesh on the stretcher to the med bay. I'm going to speed this along too. People are watching him. They're trying to keep him covered up during this transport. Carbine is kind of tucked under and out of sight, but you notice she kind of hops down before they go out of the ship, and she doesn't want to leave him, but she's hesitant on going in. And you see her kind of slip behind some of the cargo containers out of sight on the ship. They take him down. They put him down. Influx is looking at him. What in the world? And you see him take it almost looks like tweezers or something, and he tries to touch it, and the stuff doesn't react to the tweezers, but it kind of swirls where it's on his leg. You think he'd miss the leg? I'll give you 5,000 Shannocks for it right now. All right, this stuff is interesting. He flips down these like magnifying goggle like things, but you can see they're scanning. This is fascinating stuff. Where did you find this? Interesting. You see him walk away. Give me a second. He's on a tablet. He's doing something. And he comes back. Interesting. This might take me a little bit of time. I'll see what I can do, but I've never seen anything like this. You sure he wouldn't miss the leg? I mean, I can give him a different leg, but uh, well, all right, fine, fine. Give me a little time with him, and I'll see what I can tell you and find out. Steel and Blend have already headed back with the stretcher to the ship. They're already in there. Aegis has communicated with Carbine to also stay back just in case. Even though she's in her cat form, let's not take any chances. As you're standing there, are you still in with Overload and that? Or Overload, are you still in with Gilgamesh? Man, I got the names mixed up already. Woo! All right, where are you standing? Are you standing by the doorway? Yeah, I can here in a moment. Give me a second. As you are standing there, you feel a gun blaster at your back of your neck. And you hear this voice. Don't make any sudden moves and we won't have a problem. Decepticon. And you see Influx that you know of because you're faced the other way. Influx looks up. Sorry, it's just business. I mean, I'll still check your friend out. Whether you get him back, though, is another thing. Don't make any sudden moves. Put your hands behind your back carefully. Oh, there are more guns on you right now. I don't have to worry too much. Now, are your hands behind your back right now? All right. Now, Influx is on the other side of Gilgamesh from you. So you got Gilgamesh between you and him. He's looking at you. Look, that was the past. I did my favor. I'll check and look at your friend, but this doesn't look too good. And I don't know what this is, but I think it fetch a pretty penny. Gilgam. Well, we got that nice ship out there, and they don't know what's going on right now. And we would probably, you know, take it out of them in a way. Gilgamesh, we're snapping back to you real quick. You're on that plane, but now you suddenly feel a little different, and the plane has changed in front of you to almost like a jungle like presence. You start running, and it's not you, but it is you. You feel yourself running along really fast. You're leaping from rock to rock, tree to tree, bouncing through. You're hunting something. You feel almost like you're free of everything, but you're hungry for something. But you're nimbler than before. Your dexterity's off the roof right now. You're just bouncing, flipping, and you feel way different. And as you do, you see your prey. It's I don't know how to describe this thing, but it looks like a, a ram or a goat like thing. It's kind of woollier looking, kind of cartoonish almost looking, smaller legs. You leap out of nowhere. It's like you disappeared into the shadows and just shot out like a shadow, landing on this thing, biting into its throat, the jugular, and you're snapped back to the void, and you're standing there as yourself for that moment. And we snap back. You feel different. You notice your hands look a little different, just a little bit, and you're pumping your hands a little bit, like something's different. You don't know what it is though yet. You just feel different. Overload. You've got this cannon to your back, and then you hear a couple other voices. You make a move, we're just going to blast you into pieces. It's one of those moments. Oh god. It's one of those moments. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah, always. We can take care of this for a moment while he's busy. Or he's back? Oh, he's back. Wow, that was fast. He's there. Oh, come on, that's not funny. Give me some. Never mind. I'll behave. I'll behave. Mm. Oh. Mm. Okay. Well, anyway, Overload, you've got these bots, one holding the cannon to the back of your head, or neck at least, and the others, you hear a couple more of them like, we'll blast you if you make a move. Do as we said. Do I have to do... Oh, God. Okay, what do I have to... Wait a minute. So, ball... What do I need to beat for it again? 13. Thank you. One of them turns and aims his cannon at the one who has it at the base of your neck. And you hear them, "What are you doing?" Put down the gun now. And within a second, you suddenly hear and kind of feel enough of that. As you do, this bot is kind of surprised right now. He's looking at this going, uh-oh. Holy crap. Yeah. You shoot the gun out of his hand, and suddenly you feel this immense shock through your spine. I need you to do a, what was it? I had the numbers up here before. It would be a save of, it needs to be DC 15 save of, where the hell is it? You need to do strength. Yeah, it'd be actually strength on this one. Because you're using your strength right now to pull it back up. You feel it, but you shrug it off like it's nothing. And they're like, suddenly you, yeah, they kind of run at you and they start piling on you. There's about 4 bots and a 5th one trying to climb onto you and pull you down. Influx is like, "Hey, not in my shop." And you can just hear them, and there's others. They're trying to pile on you and just get you down, but you're just kind of standing up and holding up like, yeah, good luck with this. And they're pulling you out of the doorway as they're doing this. You see him flex. Oh, God. I made him rage. Influx comes to the door and kind of shoves you all out of it. I mean, this isn't a small doorway, but he's just like, get out of my shop and do it out there. As you all do, and you're raging, what do you want to do to them? I'm not even going to have initiative for this because it's just, I want to know what you're going to do to them. As you do, they're still holding on to you, and you see another bot coming up. He tries to nail you with that rod again, and you're just, what are you trying to do to me? It's not phasing you at all. It's just ticking you off more. You see from the opening of the ship, the 2 guards that were there, or everybody's over here with you, but you see Aegis kind of up in the cockpit, like, what's going on? Do you need me? He can barely see you guys. But you see this little black dot moving really fast and fly by you. Influx is in there. You can see him through the doorway. You can hear a grinder going. And it's getting loud. But you suddenly hear him, "What in the world? Get off of me!" You see Carbine grabbing onto his arm and biting into him and ripping into him. She's in her cat form. He's sitting there flailing around. You've got these bots in front of you. What do you want to do to them? You got that one trying to shock the shit out of you right now, so that's funny. You hit him, he goes flying backwards into a rail, and you can hear him, "Oh!" And the other bots are still hanging on to you and they're like hitting you and everything, but they're not hardly doing anything to you. You're just like swinging around and trying to get them off of you. Do you want to try and get some of them off of you now? You got but actually it's more like two on your back and two on your arms, one on each arm. You swing your right arm, and the one kind of is trying to hold on. He kind of, yeah, he flies. He kind of flicks off, and you notice he kind of floats down and lands on the lower platform, but with a loud thud. He still hits hard, and he's not out yet, but he's there. The other one, he's still hanging onto your left arm, and no, he's still holding on, but he's not doing very good. He's kind of freaked out, like, what did I do? And the other two are still hanging onto your back. And they're like, they don't care. They're still holding on to you. You hear the dockmaster, "Get him down now." And Influx, you can just hear him and Carbine going at it. Carbine's like leaping all over him, biting into him, cutting into him. Suddenly, the station lights start to flicker all over. This asteroid station is, the lights are powering on and off, flickering in different spots, and suddenly it's pitch black. You can see with your lights. Carbine's got night vision. It's dark. We're going to snap back to Gilgamesh now. Gilgamesh. Suddenly, the void around you is changed into the inside of the Phoenix where you do your meditations. You're sitting in the galley, but the table's down. You're sitting there, very calm, very peaceful. Something's different, though. You look down at your arms and your hands. You feel different. You know you do feel different. And this is a good different. It's kind of strange, but it's invigorating, like you're feeling something. You start to hear voices. You hear this unfamiliar voice yelling and screaming at something. You can hear Overload giving warnings now and hearing bots fighting. You're starting to come out of this state, but something is different. Your eyes, your optics start to come into vision. You're starting to come out of this state. It's dark, but you can see with your night vision's on. You see Carbine and this bot just fighting. He's got a grinder going, like trying to hit her with it and grind at her even. He flings her. She slams the wall. She's unconscious. Overload, you're sitting there. You hear this. loud thump and crash sound. And you hear Influx finally getting that vermin off of me. And you hear him, what in Primus is this? And you see him stepping back out of the door, and he kind of falls back onto his back, and he's still got the grinder in his hand. You see, and these other bots are kind of, they're not hitting on you anymore. They're watching just as much. Two tentacles reach out, grab him, rip him back in, and suddenly you hear him just screaming, and suddenly his head rolls out the door. As you do, your lights, the only thing that's lighting up is your lights, really, and all you see is some optics from the other bots, and you see this big black shadowy thing step out, and these two tentacle like arms arcing at the end. You don't see one set of legs or two, you see three sets of claws, and this thing's eyes are piercing. It's pissed. I'm letting this to be a free play of it. Overload? That you they're kind of, you feel the one on your arm slide down, and like, no harm, no harm. Gilgamesh, though, you look over and you see Carbine unconscious. She looks hurt. She's just laying there. She's not moving. How does that make you feel? You do. Your tentacles are a new part of you now. You're a little fluffier looking, but you're still your sleek bot looking motorcycle form in your bot form as well. You rush over to Carbine. She's still unconscious. She's not moving. She's not moving. She's still out. From what you can tell, she's unconscious. The other, yeah, the other two bots have slid off your back, but they're kind of, they've taken slow steps back, like they don't want to get messed, like being messed with. It's like, sorry. Look at, we were just following orders, man. They are terrified right now. Yes, 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 yes. And they're just freaked out right now. We'll tell them. We'll tell them. Just please. We're just doing what we're told. Yeah, yeah. And the lights on the station come back up, and it's dead quiet. All you hear is the machinery running. It's nothing else. It's and they're like, yeah, yeah, no problem. We'll let you go. We're fine. We're good. We're good. Hmm. And they're just looking up at you like, okay. And they kind of move out of the way, like hands up, like, hey, hey, we're good. We're good. They're freaking out because they've never seen anything like you. Because you are something else. They're just staring, and it's like, I don't, I'm good. The one kind of backs up, like, nope, nope, we're good. The third bot ran ahead and is like trying to get on the comms, like, hey, we have a problem down here. They're coming this way now. They're coming this way now. And he's freaking out. He picks up a pipe and he kind of is like, it looks ridiculous. He's just standing there holding it. You swear he's lubricated himself badly. He drops the pipe. Okay. We good. He's just looking at you, Gilgamesh, as you walk by. What in the world are you? What in the It's a little toothier too. Hey, we good? We good? Nice thingy. And he passes out. As you both get into your ship, Steele's in the cargo bay and he looks over. New look. He's kind of. He looks you up and down. Hmm. I can see that. Very. Wow. You've changed a bit. As you both get in there, she's still out like a light. Carbine, you have a little bit of fur coming off in certain spots. Your smile, when you smile, you have a little bit of a toothier grin. Ching ching. You can pull up your own camera like thing to view yourself and look at yourself if you want. You view yourself and you can see your teeth, which makes you look a little more aggressive. You do see a little bit of fuzz kind of like its fur protruding a little bit around your face and on a little bit on your arms and legs. And your tentacles also give it away a little bit too. Yeah. They are technically they can wheel up and look like your wheels on your motorcycle, or they can come out and be just the tentacles if you want. That way you have your tentacles anytime you need them. It's bought for. It's so wild to look at. I'm just imagining. The ship door closes and Aegis comes down and he looks down. I see the transformation is complete. Overload, you can hear this. You just hear beeps Gilgamesh. He's just staring at you from the scaffolding above. Yeah, overload. You would hear it. I see his transformation is complete and he survived. It's like, I'm not setting up a litter box for this. Yeah. Doors sealed. We'll get out of here, right? We're done, right? I don't like this place. All right. He heads back up and he gets in. You suddenly feel the ship kind of detach. You hear it. Gilgamesh, you still have an unconscious carbine on your hands. All right. All right. You take her to medical. Felix and Micron kind of poke out from the back rooms. Is it safe to come? And they just spot you and like, maybe it's not so safe to come out. They step back in quietly because they're looking at you like, is it safe to come out? Yeah. No, I'm gonna say you notice because this is the crew. You're on the Phoenix. This is different because these are your people. So they're looking at you, and you could kind of spot Felix and Micron kind of leaning out, like, is it safe to come out? They're just both watching you. Uh, oh, it is you, Gilgamesh. And you see Felix step out more. Micron kind of hesitantly follows, but um, new look, and then he as he eyes down, he sees Carbine. Uh, what's wrong with her? Bring her over and let's set her on the table. Let's take a look. Micron, get up here. He Micron's smaller than you, and he looks up, and he's kind of hesitant at first, but he kind of touches your leg. Interesting. So this is what happens. Never mind that right now. Patient, and he kind of hops up. He transforms, and he's sitting there, and he's scanning Carbine. Felix is like, "What do you got, Micron?" And he's running his own scan, and you can see on the screen her body comes up, and it's wild how her structure is inside for a small bot. You see all the gears, the mechanisms running. She's unconscious. She might have just taken a good blow. It'll take her a little time to come back online from the looks of it. Micron reads, fascinating. And he pops up her image of her system, and he goes, it's almost identical looking to yours, how it progresses. Well, hers is technically done. You were in the first phases of it, and he gets up, transforms back, and he walks over to you, And he scans you real quick with his, and suddenly you see the screen updated. Yours is almost done. You're going to be in the same state of hers. Like she's combined with, you're now combined with, you're out in the Cybertronian networks. Did they do this? And you see him rubbing his head. I got to look this up some more and see if I can find more information. And he goes over and transform. Don't worry, you will get your chance. As you do, Micron is sitting there. As you do, you're standing there. Carbine kind of moves a little bit, but she's kind of settles back down. She's just kind of stretched out. She's not curled up or anything. You don't really hear anything from her, though, or feel anything still. And she's just laying there right now, sleeping. Felix is like, just give her some time and she'll be back up. I'll let you know if she comes to. We're going to keep an eye on her right now. Overload, what are you doing? All right. All right. Aegis has got the ship pulled out. He's flying out in a general direction right now. He's not flying toward any particular place. He's just kind of getting distance, but not doing it fast. Timmy's up there. He's helping him just kind of read out things. Things are pretty calm right now. It's pretty quiet, sir. Not that I'm reading, but I am keeping active readings behind us as well. It's quiet, almost too quiet. Oh, all right. You sure? And he kind of side eyes you like, noticed. He hops back down from the seat, but he doesn't stay in his bot form. He transforms back to the hawk form and lands up on the back of the seat. And he kind of looks at you. You might need to lower it though, because it's still way up in the air. Wait. And he goes, "What happened to her? I can't read her right now." And you feel on the back of the headrest his talons kind of sink in, and he before you even finish, he's already flown out the door and down toward medical. He's gone. So it's you and Timmy on the bridge. He didn't look happy, Captain. Pilot's back? Fuzzy way. And he turns in the seat and he's looking at Fuzzy way. I do not understand this. You mean like little kitty fuzzy or more scary? Okay. He turns, okay. And he turns back to the console and starts keeping track of things, doing adjustments in that. All right, Captain. There is a new location for asteroids. We got some debris out there too that'll help hide us. We can go park out there, and he gives you the location on the navigation, and it will block a lot of signals, so nobody hopefully will read you. Okay. All right. You set course. It'll take you about 2 cycles to get there, but it will keep you covered and out of sight. So during that time, Gilgamesh, are you still down with Carbine in the med bay? As you do, some time has passed. It's about 30 minutes in, maybe 45. You start to notice she starts to move a little more, like, and she starts to shift around a little bit, like she's getting comfortable or in pain. She's not really making any sound. You see her sit up a little bit on her front paws. Her back is still laying flat. She's just kind of turned like, ow. She turns suddenly and looks at you and hisses at you. Ears go back, and you just hear that. She's up. You see her kind of move, but she limps a little bit. And you see her shake her paw out, her back left paw. She kind of shakes the leg, and you kind of, it almost sounds like you hear something almost either pop or move into place. And then suddenly she's walking and she's up on all fours, but turned to the side to you. And she's just watching you. You don't hear anything. She's just, you see her head going back and forth. Her ears are still kind of back though. Like, what? What? She's not hearing you. She hears you, but it's like she's not understanding everything you're saying right now. Her head tips again, and she tips it back, and it's like she's inquisitively looking at you. Felix kind of steps up. She might have something else. And he slowly reaches out and he taps the bed to get her attention. He doesn't touch her. And she turns, not quickly, but looks at and kind of butts his hand real quick, like, hey, what's going on? Well, that's unusual. He puts his hand up and she butts up against it again. And he gives her a few pets. You okay? And you can see her visibly understand him, shaking her head no. she transforms into her little bot form, and she's pointing at you, but looking at him and gesturing that he can't hear me, can he? And I can't understand him very well. But he doesn't understand. He's more of, I think she can't speak to you. Can you hear her at all? No. Nope. It's dead quiet. He's just asking a general question because he doesn't know what's happening. He just he's like, and he's like, he puts his hands up like, hang on, Carbine, can you understand anything coming out of his mouth? Wow, I just did something there that was weird. And she's like, kind of like, she does her hand like sorta. There, the Micron kind of like, he transforms in his bot form. He's standing nearby, and he looks at both of you, and you can see visibly him thinking for a moment. Your transformation, Gilgamesh, might have changed something between you two. Even though you are on the same strand, in a sense, of molecular structures now, your communication with Minicon to Bot now has been severed in some way or changed. She turns to you, Gilgamesh, and is pointing and taps her mouth and points back at you. And she's trying to gesture, say something. All you hear is nothing, not even the beeps from her. And she's trying to get like, can you hear me at all? Like she's just doing, it looks like some severe puppetry going on with her hands. Like, can you see me talking? Like, yeah, you can see her gesturing, but you can't hear a single thing. So Felix is like, Micron, Micron pipes in. He goes, can you hear the beeps at all? You hear a lot. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah. He kind of points at Carbine and she can hear him. You may have had something happen. And it's like, she's just standing there with her head cocked, like, really? You're going to talk to me like an idiot? I can hear you just fine, toward Micron. And she's just staring at him with her head cocked, like, you may have had something happen to your communication with him. She's just staring at him like, you're an idiot. But she understood. And she gestures toward you while looking at Micron and doing some kind of sign language, like communication needs to be reestablished. And he pulls up a thing and he types to her, and she gets it, and she's like, yes, that's what I mean. He goes, I don't know much about Minicon, Gilgamesh, but you two might need to bond in a sense again, because if she can't, you can you feel anything of her like what you did before? Nope. You see her there, you know she's there, but you do neither of you feel anything. You start to visibly see her start to shake. Like she's not angry, she's more freaking out and kind of, and you suddenly she transforms back into her cat form. She leaps off the table and kind of runs out of the room. She's out of sight, out of mind before anybody even notices where she's gone. And Micron's like, "Wait, where are you going?" Oh. And Felix is like, might be best to find her at some point here." Okay. Overload. You just dealt with what was a comrade who I'm not going to call him friend at this point, considering he's beheaded now by somebody. Yeah, now dead ex friend. Woo! What are is going through Overload's mind at this moment with that thought? Because you were that would figure. I would, yeah. Now, in this instance, Influx was a part of that old, not part of your squad per se, but he was there for the squads. The past is coming up for you more and more. You encountered Influx this way. Who else would you think would encounter at this point? And that's a thought I'm going to leave your character with, who might act just like this again. I'm going to flip over to Aegis because he flew off to find you guys. And in that interim, Gilgamesh was dealing with. Aegis is flying down to the medical bay, but he spots something move real fast with his hawk eyes. He follows it. He hears Carbine. In a sense, she's crying, she's freaking out. And all Aegis is hearing is this pain, this anguish, this fear. And she's just babbling like she used to. She would lose it and she would just babble and go on and on. And all he hears is these little sobs and voices. She's tucked herself away, kind of hidden herself. And he keeps hearing, what do I do? What do I do? I can't. Aegis contacts you, Overload. Overload, I think Carbine has lost connection. She needs help. And he tries to talk to her. He's very calm. He transforms into his bot form and he kneels down to her. Even though she's in this tight little space, he's just as small. He can fit. Overload, you hear this. Sister, we're not alone now. And just because you can't communicate with them doesn't mean you can't communicate with me. Overload and Gilgamesh have brought us this far, and we've helped them just as much as they have helped us. You don't hear any of this, but you hear some beeping noises and stuff overload. What has happened? We will be okay. Give it some time. Our communication with other bots is not always easy, it is selected. Whatever has happened, you may need to re bond with him in some form. I chose Overload because he is a soldier, but he has better pretenses than being a Decepticon in any way. Our people are going to rise again. We will have a home again, but right now, don't be scared. And Aegis is just hearing this sobbing and crying. She's just not coming out of it. Overload, where is Gilgamesh right now? Mm. Because he has to ask, Aegis has to ask Overload. He can't talk to you directly. Thank you. And you kind of you're telepathic, so you're only hearing. So he flies off real quick, and are you where are you at right now, Gilgamesh? You were in the medical bay. I know you left out of it. As you are there, Aegis is flying around the ship real fast. He checks in with Felix and Micron. They're like, no, he left here. So Aegis is flying. You barely hear him. He's just wings in the air. That's about all you would hear is flapping. He's flying around. He comes through the doorway from where medical is into the cargo bay. And he lands in front of you, transformed. And he's looking up at you. And he's gesturing like, and he kind of runs up toward the steps. Like, come on. He's like, just follow me. And he does this funny gesture with like his hands above his head, like he's making ears. Like, let's go now. Yeah, he's just, yeah. You guys make your way up. You get up to the quarters area. Now, Overload, you're up at the bridge. You can kind of see Gilgamesh. You see Aegis transformed into his little bot form again, and he's kind of gesturing this behemoth bot in front of him, and he's just like, come on, follow me. And he hops down into your quarters. You get down there. He's standing near your bunk, but he's gesturing underneath, kind of in where the compartments are. And she's inside. You see her movement, and you hear Aegis's beeps, and you see her move. She kind of gets to the opening, but she doesn't come out yet. And he puts his hands down, like, come out. It's okay. You see tears just down her face. She's in her bot form. She's shaking, holding herself. Aegis, you can hear beeping from him, but you don't hear anything from her. And he kind of gestures toward you to, he does palms down, sit, like sit down in a sense. Just sit on the floor. That's all he's telling you. She's he comes over, he grabs and kind of picks up one of your hands and flips it over palm up. And he goes like this with his other hand while he's still holding yours. And he shakes his head, not this way, palm up, not palm down. And he kind of flips his, and he goes just like this, and like relax, just relax. It's like going through this. He's trying to teach you how to rebond with her again. It was instant the first time because you two were already communicating a different way because it was the first initial bond. This time it's been severed because you were completely changed into this whole new form. He it takes your hand, he pulls it forward, and she's still shaking. She has her arms around her. She's not looking up. And he's like, keep your hand there. And he tries to kind of like, let me have your hands to her. And she won't budge. She's just shaking and freaking out still. And he's just shaking his head like, okay. And like, he closes the compartment quietly behind her and he walks around. He grabs your hand, but this time he slowly puts it to the palm down. And he's like, one finger up, like, just like, wait. And he brings your hand forward with him under it, like he's guiding your hand. And he kind of just puts it over top of her, but just your fingers are there. And she's still shaking. And he steps out slowly and he's like doing the gesture for like pat her head. You see her kneel down a little bit from it, like in shock, but she comes back up very slowly and she's touching your hand. You feel this moment just, and Aegis is like, and you see her look up and tears are just running down her face. She's frightened. She's scared. Aegis is like, and he gestures because he kind of like slowly turn your hand back around in front of her, kind of like back to palm up. Mm, no, it's it'll be explained. As you move your hand into this palm position, she's looking down and she's still shaking, but she moves her hands and they're so tiny to your big hand. She puts them down and you suddenly feel warmth. And she's still shaking a bit. She feels suddenly calmer in herself. You can see her stop shaking so much. She's just sitting there. You can see her optics have kind of closed, and she's just sitting there. And Aegis is off to the side, like thumbs up, like hopefully this is gonna work. It's one of those moments, and you kind of start to hear this whisper, and it's getting a little louder. You kind of remember this sound. Scared, alone, freaking. I can't be. Freaking. Who's it? Who is it? Where? My name's not Carbine. Who are you? Wait, I am. Who am I? Wait a minute. But who are you? Who are you? You feel you're starting to feel this like she's what would be equivalent of hyperventilating. She's breathing fast, but it's the pulsing and it's erratic and just changing. Who are you? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Names. Who's who's Carbine? Who's Carbine? Carbine. Who's that's me. Wait, it's not me, but it is me. I am who am I? This I you hear her voice kind of fade back to that whisper, and you just hear it whispering lightly. Zalia, Zalia. That's my name. My name is Zalia. Wait, but I am Carbine. Who is? I'm so confused. So confused. Science. Need to finish study. Mm, who are you? You. Suddenly, you both are in this plane. She's standing there, not crying, not doing anything. The original Carbine. But then there's Carbine as well. You, you're standing there as you now. They're both looking up at you at the exact same time. They both in sync and in unison. You hear these dual voices. Who am I? And then they look at each other. Who was I? Who I I am as I am Zalia. And the other one responds, I'm Carbine though. Who wait, The carbine one, I know you, and it steps forward more closer to you. I know you. We know him. We know him. What happened? Remember, remember, remember. And you see the original carbine fall to her knees and scream out in pain. She's just yelling. The one known as Zalia, you look over. Something's happening. She's grabbing her head, and it's like a whirlwind going around her. Carbine's gone. The whirlwind lets up, and you see on the ground, just laying there, Carbine. She sits up. You see her optics looking around like, where am I? She walks a few steps after getting up. She turns around, looks up at you. Why are you here? Did my spark go out? That's not. Did your spark go out? And she's in all over the place. How did you get here? But that means your spark would have been offline. Wait, did we die? But this is you're Gilgamesh. I know you. She walks around you, but as she does, suddenly she's the same size as you, looking you eye to eye. Your optics are meeting dead on. The only time I can see you at this level, I am weak. I am tired. I never recharged, did I? So we're not sparkless. We're not dead. We haven't returned to the Allspark. As she walks back around you, and she goes back to small as you keep talking. No, no. She's shaking her head. No, 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 no. You're not judged by Allspark there. You are judged by you. You survived. Interesting. You're seeing her scientific side more now. It's the spark. Your spark is unique. You have a stronger spark. But no, it's not just the spark. It has to be something else. But it doesn't matter now. So, how did we get here? She kind of looks around. This is the best you could do? It's okay. You can hear me there. Wait. Well, this is different here. There to here is different. But you could hear me that and you 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 feel excitement. It's weird. Then we have to try. I have to maintain where I'm at. I know I am outside of this scared and afraid. I remember. Mm, yes, but now we need to communicate. How do we get out of this? It's just like looking around. Like, is there a button? As it does, she goes, what's happening? And it all fades, and you hear a voice. It's crying, but you can hear it, and it's curled up in your lap now, just sitting there. Mm-hmm. During the time she transformed, Aegis is just sitting there with his optics wide open, like, what just happened? You start to hear a purr, but you can hear her calm, peace, quiet. And you hear the little sobs every once in a while. I need to charge. Need to charge. You see her just curl up into. It looks kind of like a cat's bed, but it's a recharge bed designed. So she's just curled up in there, and you can see her tightly curl up, and you can see her in a sense power down for the time being. Aegis is just looking wide eyed, like, okay, and thumbs up. Eh? And he just thumbs up, like, okay. He goes back up the hatch and looks down. Thumbs up. He meets up with you, Overload, and he kind of like, I didn't think that would work. That's all you hear from him. Yeah, and he transforms, hops back up behind you as you're flying. You guys are at the asteroid field. You kind of bring it in roughly and park it, and you guys can sit there and relax for a little bit. He just kind of looks down and he pecks you with his head, his beak. He pecks you on the head. Pink, pink. So, what kind of stuff do you got in here? The funny always becomes the truth, though, right? So, Overload, you surprisingly stood up very well throughout all these encounters. Who are you? Aegis is just looking at you side-eyed, like, you're not really Decepticon, are you? You died? Your spark got snuffed? Uh-huh. Okay. So you're here now. How long you been a soldier then? I've been around for a long time, but being in stasis for a long time, you kind of lose time. No, I've been around for a long, long time, but that's pretty good amount of time. You saw those visions of those two leaders fighting. What did you think of it? Yeah, as many cons, we learned a lot during that time. Turned out to be nothing more than a squabble between two fools. And then they drew everybody else in with their propaganda, trying to make it sound like it's all good on both sides. But all it would do is enslave one or enslave the other or blah, blah, blah. Instead of living peacefully between each other and understanding, they didn't. You are different. Both you and that assassin of your friend of yours, he's very perceptive on a lot of stuff, but he's also very cunning. You sure you guys are like, soldier and assassin? I really wonder. So, how many bots have you offline then? Don't you? Oh, that sounds more reasonable. Oh, you're a little behind. I'd like to take you on in a fight. Oh, are you saying my size is gonna cause me an issue fighting you? Uh huh. Lumbering one. You just hear, yeah, you just sitting there tapping his talon on him. Tink, tink, tink. I've got other abilities. He's like, yeah, they're in the, yeah, they're in the pilot seat right now, and Aegis is kind of perched up, facing out. He can see you though because he's got that hawk vision where it's binocular. I can't remember. Yeah, it's but Overload doesn't know you're there. He's still looking forward while they're chatting. So this Overload, you hear Aegis again. He goes, "So, what do you think about that Gilgamesh being a little bit furrier?" Now he's just goading him on. And he just kind of flies to the other headrest behind Timmy. Timmy's like, okay. Just sitting there. He just kind of he just looks over at you, Overload. I'm gonna go recharge. And he flies out the door while you guys are talking. Oh God, that's right. The hand was still on it. So, do you guys just be glad I don't make the hand move, okay? Starts wiggling. It starts wiggling. The souvenirs you guys get. Oh my God. Ah, you're going to be the hand from now on. There we go. Oh. As you do, it comes together. You have a complete map, it looks like. A sphere with lines around it, with lines around it, completing the pattern. All you have to do is punch the code. You two know it. As you do, you activate the map, but this time the whole thing glows, and a line like an arrow is gesturing to a part of space that Timmy's looking it up on the star charts as well. I don't have anything there. It's reading nothing. It's pretty far out, too. Hmm? Eh, Um, unless the records are wrong, but there's nothing out there. It's gonna take us at least a few solar cycles to get there. Couple days. But there's nothing on the map, not even debris, not a ship, nothing, not even an asteroid. It's all that stuff is out further and around, but there's nothing in that particular spot. There's like a ring of asteroids kind of out there. Yes. It's not unknown, but it hasn't been really scanned and updated to check for anything. Nobody really goes out there. War. Nobody cared to. Hmm? Go ahead and do some other stuff. We'll try and get you in on the next one. Okay? And then we can discuss any other little details for yours if you need. Okay? As Timmy is sitting there reading, there's nothing even in the archives of anything being out there. You get a message. You both do. It's from Sound Blaster. It's just a message stating problems with a few other guilds. Um, no, you don't need to for this one. You would know it, this person. So oh my god. So from your location, you couldn't do a voice communication, but you can send a message to them. So you send a message overload, it goes out. It might take some time to get back, depending on where they are at. And if they even want to respond to you, how's that? You can ask the three bots down there, especially Timmy or Gunk and I can talk. The other two triplets. There we go. They're down there currently working. So is Blend. He's down there working on stuff with them. They're down there just pinging away. They all three kind of just stare at you. Hello, pilot. The two of them come over and they like touch your leg. It's a little softer. This is different. Sorry, pilot. They're still staring at you for a moment. Blend is just standing there with a wrench, like, oh, whoa, yeah. Uh, yes, pilot. Yeah. Um, he's functional, but he's not talking. He's not responding either, though. But once we installed him, the ship status came up a lot better. Yeah. You check the comms logs, and it's right. You can check it right there in engineering too. As you do, you see nothing abnormal that isn't. It would be you see the normal comms that you just did. You see that Overload did send a message out, but you don't know what it says. You just know he sent one. You see other communications of sensor readings and stuff like that. Most of that stuff is just your normal comms that come through your ship. Nothing really has left the ship or come into the ship. At least not ones that you guys didn't expect. Nothing. Timmy kind of comes, or not Timmy, Gunk, he's standing there. He goes, we have noticed some readings are a little off in certain things, but everything seems to be functioning fully. And Gunk, he flips a switch. Oh, here, that's this. And he shows you on the screen the pattern. It kind of goes up and down a little bit, and then you can see there's activity, but it's very nominal. Like if you nobody's really asked him to do anything, so you don't see any activity right now. Oh, well, that was when did you ask him? Was that just now? Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. Gunn goes, oh, we have to go back in the recording, so he slides it over, and he goes, yes, right here, and he shows there's a little activity, and he slides it back to the current, which is reading right now, and he goes, so far it's still the same. It's like something is happening. He's doing something, but I don't know if he's there. Yes. So if I ask him like right now, Phoenix, what's the situation like on the ship? And it spikes, but nothing happens. Who? Gung or Phoenix? Yeah. It seems like it's giving us information that we need. Like I said, once we installed it, he flips the screen. All our readings came up. There's only a few that have been readjusted, but the ship is running fully and he flips it back to the other screen. So whatever he is doing it. There's a delay. You see the screen jump, and all of a sudden the screen changes to the map of the ship. It scans across the entire ship. It just picks all of you up, including the ship's own power source and any little bits of energon here and there. You see it come up, scan, 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 fully functional. That's all it says across the screen. Running scan comes across the screen and it repeats. Fully functional. I don't know, pilot. I can run some scans to see if there's anything else that's changed. Doesn't mean he may have been reprogrammed too, because he's not like us in a sense. He is AI. We are spark driven. We do have memory components, but he is AI. He is different to us a little bit. Visually, yes, you would have remembered what he looked like. Because he was, well, oh, like his software state. Let's see. You'd probably need somebody with computer skills, at least in the software diagnostic for him. Because unless you guys have some kind of background with dealing with computers and hacking, yeah, yeah. So the rest of the crew really doesn't. You got Steele, who's fabrication. You got Felix, who's repair and everything. Micron might be able to take a look, but he is really just a scientist. He doesn't do the engineering kind of thing with that kind of stuff either. And then the rest of the crew is just manual labor of some sort or working on. You could try. That's the most you can do. You see the screen kind of scramble for a second, and all it says is scanning, repeated, and it just keeps going, scanning, scanning, scanning. Gung looks up. Gung looks up. Pilot, that might take a while. Software for AI is big, and you see it scanning, 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 and then all of a sudden it kind of stops, saying scanning for a brief moment. First, you see after the scanning, it's just a few dots, and it comes up to data, and it's trying. It's like characters of different type of Cybertronian characters, and kind of make no sense. And then it goes back to scanning, scanning, and then it does it again. Algorithm changed, and it's like by, and it doesn't say who authorized it. It just is blank, and it keeps changing. It goes scanning, scanning, scanning. It goes on for a bit again, and then it does it again. It says data file changed, data file changed, and it does it about 10 times, and then it comes back to changed by, and it's blank again, and it goes back to dots again. Nothing happens. It just keeps scanning. Hi, pilot. We'll just leave it run like this. We got the other console we can use. Hi, pilot. And he goes, the backup plan, and he points toward all of them. He's like gesturing, we're it. We can install what would be mm, kind of detrimental, mean, but a kill switch. It won't hurt him, it just shuts him off. Yes. The version we were thinking of, it wouldn't hurt him, it would just shut him off, disconnect him from the system. Hi, pilot. And he signals to the other two, let's go. All right. With that, your ship is sitting comfortably. Timmy's still scanning. Is there anything else you two would like to do before we sign off for today? Ooh. I just spilled the Energon coffee on the table again. So you make your way up to the bridge. Overload's there. Long enough. Weeks works. Dun, dun, dun. And with that, this is the end of the session. This one took a little more with the other stuff, so it's like, yeah. Let me flip that. There we go. Yeah, I did cut out some combat there because I was like, it's going to take way too long and I don't need you. So, so now let's see. God, my brain just stopped. You guys got anything to plug? User redacted never does. We will one day. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. What other thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. Be part of. I'm being part of a charity stream that will be coming up on November 5th. Kilo, if you're still there, I will get the thing to you. I've been discussing with my wife on times. When I'm going to be there. So, November 5th, that'll be on Saturday. It's going to be a long stream. So if anybody would like to join us, donate some money to help out kids and everything, it's for a couple different organizations that are for like Dornbeckers. I've got my own too, but I'm doing it for the team. So let's go for that. And then still streaming. Sorry, I haven't streamed much lately. Been busy with a lot of other stuff. Dave's got his stream too. User redacted, which is Mercer. Which I actually just realized I have to change your name on here. It's still your old name, so I just realized I was like, wait a minute, and also I need to fix them too. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that on November 5th. We'll be playing different games, different things. Dave will be there harassing us, you know. Yeah, yeah. So
he's gonna try Phasmophobia and have his wife scare the crap out of him.
Don't you dare. Sorry. And if you want to have entertainment, if they're playing Phasmophobia during that time, I'll do it in VR and watch myself get scared crap out of, because my wife just said she's gonna scare the crap out of me. Because I'll have the headset on, I can't see anything, and usually I have headphones in, so I can't hear anything. And if she comes up and taps me at the wrong moment, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh, you're tapping.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. She's gonna scare the crud out of me in some form. So, yeah, it'll be entertainment. Boo. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Halloween episode. I need to put that on the calendar too, so it shows for stream. Excuse me. Ooh. So I've got the one in the Twitch stream schedule, and I'll put that in too. The other D&D stuff's there too, though. So, but I want to put it in so that it'll show. Yes, 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 yes. That'll be fun. And with all that, wherever you're at in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good something, and be safe out there.